I have spent nearly £50,000 restoring this old Alfa Romeo. Now, to most people, that sounds absolutely ridiculous. And after my previous video, I've been asked two very important questions. Number one, wouldn't it have been better just to go out and buy a finished car? And the second question is, will you ever get your money back? Now, logically, there are two fair questions. Because you could probably go out and buy a classic car cheaper than it would cost you to restore one. And financially, once you add up all of your invoices, all of your time, and everything that's gone into the car, you really ever get your money back. But here's the thing that people outside the classic car world don't understand, is that it is really about the money, and it's about something much deeper. When you first buy an old project car, something happens psychologically, because you don't see all the rust. You don't see all of the invoices that are going to pile up. You don't necessarily see all the years of hard work ahead. What you do see is potential. What you see is a finished car in your head long before it exists in reality. And I think that's what separates car people from everybody else, because most people look at these barn finds and see stress, parts car, maybe even a scrap car. Petrol heads look at it and see possibility, because that dream becomes addictive. Not just about owning the car, but about saving the car, building the car, and becoming part of its story. Why didn't you just go out and buy a restored one? Now, this is a question most restorers get, and on paper, it makes total sense. Why spend years restoring a car when you can go out and buy one that's already finished? If I'd gone out and bought a completed Alfa Romeo, I'd just own another car. But by restoring this one, I own the journey. Every repaired panel, every rebuilt component, every setback, all those late nights in the garage. I know this car bolt by bolt. And that creates something money can't buy: connection. Because after restoring all of these cars, they stop being objects and become part of your life. And the funny thing is, for the long restorations, they almost become chapters in your life. You remember where you were when they came out of the paint shop. You remember the excitement of hearing an engine start for the first time. Now, you'll remember all the disasters too, like putting a screw through your new paintwork. All of the costs that have spiraled out of control. All of the parts you bought that didn't fit. The moments you questioned your sanity. But over time, the car will become more than transport for you. It will become a representation of your patience, your persistence, and your passion. And that's why restorers become emotionally attached to their cars, because a piece of them exists in each one of those rebuilds. Now, over the years, I've asked myself why I keep doing this, why I keep rebuilding these difficult cars that everybody tells me to walk away from. The Alfa Romeo Touring Spider, which is a lifelong project and still ongoing, found in a field after years, almost rusted in half and not complete. The Alfa Romeo Duetto Spider, found in a garage, looking really terrible, not run for years. The 1750 also looking rather shoddy and not running properly. The E-Type Jaguar, complete barn find, not running. And well, the MGA twin cam, also pulled out of a barn and then delivered to my house on a trailer. Now, honestly, I think it goes a lot deeper than just loving cars. You see, when I was young, just out of my teen years, I lost my only sibling. And I think there's something about loss that changes you permanently. And maybe that's why saving things means so much to me. You see me taking all of the pain to try and save this original interior on this barn find. And the way I look at it, restorations are hopeful. You take something damaged, neglected, forgotten, and bring it back to life. Not because it makes financial sense, but because it matters emotionally. And maybe that's why I keep doing it over and over again. Not just because I love cars, but because I can't stand to see something beautiful like this disappear. Now let's talk about the uncomfortable part, the money. Because when people hear you spend £50,000 restoring an old Alfa Romeo, they immediately start calculating, will you ever get your money back? Should you have bought something different? And honestly, they're probably right. Because if your goal is purely financial when you're restoring a classic car, well, it's a terrible investment. But I think people measure value differently. No one ever questions spending money on holidays, expensive watches, a golf club membership, because people understand those things bring enjoyment. But when somebody spends a load of money restoring an old car, people treat it like financial madness. And I don't think what they get is that restoration is part of the enjoyment itself. The process has value, the memories have value, and the purpose has value. Now I think restorations are therapeutic. Modern life is just so stressful, fast, digital, and constantly distracting. But working on an old car just slows down your brain. You work on one bolt at a time, fix one problem at a time, work on one carburetor. And for a few hours, nothing else matters. No distractions, no emails, just you and the machine. And therefore I think a lot of classic car restorers are not just restoring cars, but restoring themselves as well. And here's the strange thing that I've realized over the years. Sometimes the finished restoration is slightly bittersweet. Because the chase is over. The project that consumed years of your life is suddenly complete. And weirdly, the process becomes part of that addiction too. The learning, the problem solving, the anticipation. That's why so many car people don't stop at one project. Because deep down, we love the journey as much as the destination, maybe even more. When I drive this Alfa Romeo now, I don't think about its resale value. I think about the years of effort it took to get here. The work, the setbacks, the excitement, every drive feels earned. And that's something you can't buy with a completed car. Because for me, this Alfa is not just transport. It's history, it's effort, it's emotion. And for petrol heads, that emotion is the entire point. I also think that classic cars appeal to people now because modern life has become so fast. Everything is instant. Instant message, instant deliveries, instant entertainment. We spend our lives staring at screens, rushing from one thing to the next. But old cars force you to slow down. You can't rush an old Alfa Romeo. You listen to it, you warm it up, you smell the fuel, you feel every vibration and every mechanical movement. Driving an old car becomes an experience instead of just transport. And maybe that's why people are drawn to classics today, because they reconnect us to something real, something physical, something human. And in a strange way, classic cars are one of the few places left where imperfections are still beautiful. So will I ever get the £50,000 back, plus the cost of the car, obviously, when I bought it, which I will reveal towards the end of the series? Well, probably not. But I've got something else instead. Years of purpose, memories, experiences, skills, friends. And eventually, I'll have a car that means something far more than its market value. And that's the strange psychology behind these classic cars. It's irrational, it's emotional, it's financially questionable. But for some of us, it's really about trying to save the old cars. And if you recall the very first episode, when I pulled this car out of the barn, I was in the barn telling the story of how I found the car. And in that episode, I said, when I spoke to the original owner, they said they wanted this car to go to somebody who would save it. Now you know how that comment spoke to me. And that's why I said I knew this car was for me. And maybe for some of us, saving old cars is really about saving something else too. Because in a world that's increasingly disposable, disconnected, and fast, these old classic cars teach us to slow down. to build things, to preserve things, to care about things. And honestly, that's why I'll probably never stop restoring these old cars. So guys, we'll call that an episode where I've got all of the cars out that I have restored over the past, and really trying to answer those few questions, why we still do this, even though it makes absolutely no financial sense. But guys, thanks for watching the episode. Please remember to like and subscribe, and again, comment on the video. I do read all of your comments. This channel is all about the ownership experience of my classic car collection. So please make sure you're subscribed, and see you all next time. Ciao.